Kobe, the last 5 signature sneakers that you had were all low top. With the Kobe 9 by Nike, you're going to a high top. Why?
Well, I think it was time to innovate a little more. You know, it's very easy. We've had a lot of success having low-cut product, low-cut shoes. But that doesn't mean we just rest on that. So now, how do we improve upon that? And so, you know, looking at Pacquiao's boot and boxing boots, and looking at how they're high, I don't even call them a high top, I mean, they're really high. I felt like it'd be a nice challenge to give to Nike to see if we can create the same product for basketball players, but the product has to be able to, I want it to still keep the same weight, I want it to be extremely light, and I want it to move with the foot. I don't want it to be a high top that's just a restrictive one. So.
Now, you mentioned in the design process for the sneaker, many muses in your life, you know, kind of their inspiration was poured into it. Can you tell me some of these people, who they were and what they brought to you?
Sure. I mean, it's tough whenever I do Nike events because there's certain things that they can say legally that, you know, I can't, you know what I mean? So,
right.
But for the muses themselves, there are people who've inspired me. Like, for example, there's a Jerry Buss inspired shoe. You know, there's a Michelangelo inspired shoe. You know, there's a Michael Jackson, you know, inspired. So all these people have inspired me, and I wanted to kind of, it's kind of like an homage to the things that I've learned from them throughout my career.
Right.
And kind of trying to integrate that aesthetically into the product.
Are there any remaining hurdles for you left before you can get back to game action? And if so, what are the final challenges?
Well, I think, you know, just running to the shooting. Because, you know, it's one thing to be out on the track all day and run. It's another thing to run, jump, change directions, now gather your legs for a shot. You still kind of feel like you get those Bambi legs sort of thing. But the Achilles feels pretty good. You know, it's other than that, I mean, you're just dealing with the typical, you know, things that a player playing 18 years is going to deal with.
Right.
You know, it's just, you know, sore here, sore there. But
if Friday's game against the Sacramento Kings is out of the question, does that just move back the timeline? Now you think Sunday against Toronto? Are you into that game-to-game mentality yet?
Yeah, I mean, it feels that way. It feels pretty good.
Yeah.
It feels pretty good. I mean, this is the second day now when I've been able to get out there and move around and play pretty well. And it felt like I could do anything I wanted to do out there on the floor. So we progress to tomorrow. We're on to tomorrow. See if I can go 3 days straight, and then you know, have another hard workout on Friday, and then just kind of measure it accordingly.
Obviously, you were very touched by the Lakers contract that they offered you. And there's people out there, it's been a mixed reaction. You know, there's
Sure.
people who've thought that you deserve every dollar you got, you earned it, and you mean so much to the Lakers franchise, to the league in general. There's people who said that this might put the Lakers in a tough position to be able to field a contender. What do you say to the doubters?
Well, I mean, it's you know, fans have the right to have those concerns. You know, I urge caution in thinking that they know more about cap than the Lakers management does in terms of what they can and can't do. But we sat down and discussed this. I mean, this is something that was important to me, is being able to find the balance of something that's fair from a business perspective as well as winning. Because as athletes, we have to wear both hats.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to. You can't trade one for the other. But we sat down and they went through option A, option B, option C, and I wanted to know all of them and feel very comfortable with that.
Do you feel like there's a plan in place that
for sure.
you've already spoken about that can get you back?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. We're not just, you know, make decisions blindly.
Yeah.
You know, I don't and they don't either, for sure.
You've alluded to these blackout workouts that you've had over the last several weeks ramping up to this point. Pau Gasol told us that, you know, for what the teammates have seen and what the media has seen, you're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that none of us really know about. What can you tell me about these workouts? Where are they occurring? You know, all hours of the night? Like, how are you getting to this point? How have you got to this point?
Well, my training has no time restrictions in terms of when I do them. I mean, you do them at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, it doesn't matter. You know, you just got to do them. And you know, the blackout is very intense. It's a huge commitment. You know, it's 6 in the morning stuff, and then, you know, take the kids to school and then go do another session, weights and shooting and practice, and then after that do some more running. And you know, so it's an ongoing thing, and throughout all of that you have to take care of your body and take care of the knick-knack injuries that may arise.
Right.
It's intense, but it's fun.
We saw you in the practice this week, threw down a dunk. Now it was
Strong
off.
layup.
Strong layup. You
Strong
put it there?
layup. I don't know if I don't know if I call it though. It was a really strong layup.
It was left-handed off your right foot.
Yes.
Have you been able to dunk jumping off your left foot?
No, I haven't. I've done it in practice, but to do that publicly would just, confirm your guys' 25th ranking of me. So I just refuse to jump off of my left leg in front of any media right now.
Well, since you went there before I did, we got to cover it. You keep bringing it up.
Of course I am.
And you give me guff for it, and I have no problem with it if you want to give me guff for it. But, do you actually draw motivation from things like this? Like, what?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, that's low-hanging fruit, man. You got to, it's ripe for the plucking, man. You got to take that, and it's I enjoy needling you guys with that as much as I can.
Now, you do understand that there were some analysts, including in that ranking, myself included, you got a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm saying that you are.
Right, so the ESPN system was faulty for rating players.
In this case, yes.
Yeah, there was a glitch in the system.
Let me ask you, other than, you've learned in this last 8 months that ESPN might have some flaws in a certain ranking system. What have you learned about yourself in the 8 months since this Achilles injury?
It's a lot, because you really have to self-assess, and it's a process of self-discovery, because once you've been playing for so long, it's like you have such a devastating injury, and you're like, man, I don't know if I can do this again. Every single day, I don't know if I can. And you kind of have to dig deep and have to find things to keep you going, So it's a lot of searching, man. It's a lot of searching.
And I'll end on this. If this indeed is your last contract with this extension, that means you have less than 230 games left in your NBA career. And when you hear that final number and consider that final march, what goes through your mind?
It's exciting. It's exciting. I've always wanted to play my career full out, leave no stone unturned, and feel like I've given absolutely everything I possibly can, and I feel comfortable with that, and I'm very excited about it. And if this is going to be my last 2 years, which it probably will be, I'm going to go and give absolutely everything I have and then some.
Okay, thanks, Kobe. Appreciate it. Thanks.